So yeah, I had to send it in. This is part 2. Watch the first video, please. I had to send it in because it had a bad ejector, and they needed to re-weld the clevis, which is what holds the hand guards. I mean, it still held the hand guards fine, but I noticed there's slight movement, and rework the paddle mag release. And I said in my last video, I think this is a perfect combination for Western accuracy meets Eastern, like, comm block reliability. And I do wish it had the Cold Hammer Forged original HK91 barrel with polygonal rifling. The polygonal rifling, if you don't know, it's hard for the feds to track what kind of weapon was used, and it also gets really good feet per second. But from what I understand, it doesn't really matter too much as people would think with barrel length. But this is the shortest of the .308 battle rifles and the lightest, and it also it's the most modular and was the easiest to add optics to. Now, I was having some, at the end of my last video, I was discussing that I was having eye relief issues with my ACSS scope, and it also made it a little bit on the heavy side for what I would like this rifle for. I may swap out the scope. I was thinking I really want that retractable HK scope before they climb up in price or whatever, like everything I want seems to. But I think this is a very modular rifle. The mags are literally sometimes cheaper than $3 each. You get like a lower. It's crazy. It's built on sheet metal, but these rifles are inherently accurate as hell. But other than that, there's a lot of parts for them. I would definitely get one over the C308 that Century has, because Century will try to ask you every question they can to get out of doing warranty work. PTR does have a hellacious warranty track record, which you really shouldn't have to use, but you know, I've sent back a lot of weapons before. I've sent back a Smith & Wesson M&P, a Wasser, a C39, and I've had all kinds of parts delivered to my house because they've broken on other rifles. But I really think this is best bang for the buck. This is probably a decent DMR roll rifle. They're pretty accurate and they're pretty reliable. Mine hasn't been so far. With the welded scope rail, which mine is on straight, I don't have canted sights or anything. I think they're really easy to add optics. When you start adding bipods and shit to them, they get pretty heavy. I think a lot heavier than like an M70. But I still think they're the best bang for the buck for a .308 rifle, and especially with the magazines and all the features they have now. I like how they shoulder. Now, the cool thing about these rifles is that you can thumb over bore them, and a lot of AR height optics work pretty good on them because you have this big ass ring of death, the HK ring of death. There's a lot of cool stocks you could put onto them, and they also have AR-10 muzzle threads, so you can probably even put a silencer suppressor on there. But yeah, there's a lot of shit I like about this rifle. Now, the reason why I don't have my scope on there, I'm trying to decide which one I want for right now. The eye relief and keeping it far away from this cocking tube, I want enough room to where I can clear this without slapping the shit out of a scope. So the cool thing about this rifle is you can put it in your workspace And this will be really tight to do until you start shooting it or cycling or racking the action a lot. But you want to slap the shit out of it. But if you have a big ass scope, and if it's too far forward, you know, you won't have the proper eye relief depending on the scope. And if it's too far back, when you go into prone, it'll be quirky to shoot with. So you want to have the perfect, you know, eye relief and eye box and all that shit. I really don't know the terms right now for this rifle, and that's why I think these serve better as a semi-auto battle rifle or a DMR compared to a sniper rifle. If I had my way, I would have like a 3 or 4 power ACOG and maybe an RMR sight and call it a day. But a huge ass scope weighs this rifle down, and not only does it weigh the rifle down, you won't be able to do all this HK slap shit. And yeah, that's all. I ran out of shit to talk about, but this is probably, next to the AKs and Vepers and shit that I love, this is probably one of the coolest fucking rifles I ever got. And I think I'm really happy. Sucks I had to send it in, but most guys that get these have good luck. So I'll definitely make an update video, especially if it messes up or anything. But I really think they're good to go, and for the price, it's the best 308 DMR you can get right now on the market, with the mags and aftermarket following the strict HK rules, to where they all, it's kind of like an AR-15. They're all pretty much interchangeable parts and crap. So it's actually very modular with Eastern reliability and Western accuracy. Thanks for listening, and take care.